Welcome to Nurse Ann's Audiobooks. The Mental Files, a series by Nurse Ann. Book 3 is A Tent Under the Bridge. Welcome to today's reading of Book 3, The Mental Files, A Tent Under the Bridge by Nurse Ann. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and paperback. And I'll get started with your audiobook version reading today. As usual, this is a work of fiction. Names, characters, and incidents are all products of the author's imagination and used for fictional purposes. Any resemblance to actual events or persons are coincidental. And I am Nurse Ann. I'm a nurse of 28 years and still going, certified in emergency and a mental health registered nurse. I'm going to provide you with an inside look at the growing mental health crisis and just everyone's internal thought strongholds in general. And on the nurseann.com podcast series, we'll be breaking apart the entire series chapter by chapter as it relates to you and me and others' mental health crisis and internal thought strongholds and battles, with some biblical prescriptions and insight to look into. So with that being said, we'll get started on A Tent Under the Bridge. And you can go ahead and listen to Book 1 intro and Book 2. You will find that on this site. Book 1 is Sheep Among Wolves, and the first part is Julie's story, and the part 2 is Man on the Bridge. And then Book 2 is Dr. John Doe. And that'll catch you up. This is a series you will enjoy. A Tent Under the Bridge intro and introduction is: why does Abigail continue to live under the bridge? Will she allow the frontline workers to help her find a safer and healthier life? Will her long-lost mystery daughter be able to forgive her? Ride along with Mars on his first paramedic shifts. Can he handle the intense trauma and drama? Will the handsome officer ask his big question to the beautiful caseworker? Or will his buddies convince him he will never change and would be making a mistake? Why did Julie run away again? Join the frontline workers as they continue rescue efforts for the minds and lives of the vulnerable. These shifts are 24/7. Buckle up for the compelling ride. Danger, action, faith, romance, inspiration, and suspense in the Mental Files series. Chapter 1. Abigail pushed her tattered wallet and snacks into her dirty backpack before she left her tent that was under the bridge to head to the store. As usual, she scanned the area before leaving to make sure no predators were watching when she left. Although she did not have many worldly goods in her makeshift home, she needed what was there. All of her homeless neighbors had their own tents or makeshift dwellings. Thankfully, most of them watched out for each other. But you never knew when a new arrival would be a thief. The evening before, the small community had cooked out over a small fire and shared food among each other. Those were her favorite times. It made her feel safer in that she actually had some friends. No fun to be all alone. Unfortunately, she had slept in late due to the beer fest after dinner the residents had taken part in. After she pulled herself together, she made her trek towards the store to get a few items. Thankfully, she still had a few dollars on her government stipend debit card. She continued to dream that one day she could save enough from the stipend to rent a tiny apartment. She had not faced the reality that after she bought enough food and a few hygiene items every month, that the money was gone. Well, except for the cigarettes and beer, which she considered a necessity. After she gathered her needed items and plopped them on the corner store counter, the cashier gave her the total owed. The raggedly dressed woman with a moderate amount of body odor was not prepared for the card to be declined. Not again! What am I going to do, she thought. Well, I guess it's time for plan B again. She knew she should not carry out her secondary plan in this store because the cashier had caught her before and was watching her carefully. On to the next store. Chapter 2, moving on up. Mars and his mom Jenna were finally here. What an improvement from the neighborhood filled with crime and drama. Time for a fresh and safer beginning. Laughter and conversation filled the air as the two unpacked all of the boxes that the moving team had unloaded. Mars talked excitedly about all he had learned so far in paramedic school. Guess what, Mom? I get to go on my first mission in the field. When? Excitedly asked the single mom. Oh, on the 15th. I think I have 3 more days. I'll have to check the calendar, replied the young man who had been studying nonstop to make sure he could ace the program and make a good impression. Today is the 15th, exclaimed Jenna. No way, cried the worried student. Oh man, what time is it now? It's 10 a.m. now. What time are you supposed to be at the station? She answered. 10:30, he gasped. Mom, please call and tell him I'm on the way. Oh, I can't leave you to do all this unpacking, though. Mars, go now. Grab some food on the way out. But go. I'll call for you this time, replied his mom. Normally she would not cover for him, but he had been working so hard in school and was a great help with the chores. Stumbling out of the door with his brand new uniform on, he waved as he heard her admonish him to drive safely. Chapter 3, Jail or ER? Leon and his partner, Officer Perez, headed to the next call. Some homeless lady was caught shoplifting lunch meat and a beer. This should be interesting, joked Leon. Ha, yeah, right, big-time crime, replied Martin. Leon, are we still on for sports time after work today? Not unless you're going to ditch us again for that new dame. Hey, she's not some dame, answered Leon defensively. In fact, I want to run something serious to you about Lita. So yeah, I'll be there. Serious? Come on, no way. Not the great, most eligible bachelor himself, chuckled his partner. Yeah, whatever, shot back Leon as they pulled into the market parking lot. The disheveled lady that was caught red-handing was pitching a fit. The cashier had blocked her way from the door until the police arrived. The officers heard an earful as they arrived on the scene and took over. He's lying, screamed Abigail. Lady, it's all on camera, retorted the cashier. Ma'am, didn't we just take you in 2 weeks ago? Queried Officer Perez. How dare you ask me that? Screamed the lunch meat thief. Ma'am, you know the drill. Gotta put the cuffs on now, advised Leon as he pulled her wrists into the metal device. Thanks, officers, called out the relieved cashier as he wiped his counter off with bleach as the homeless woman was placed in the patrol car. Just take me home. I promise I won't do it again, pleaded the desperate woman. Where do you even live? Questioned Martin. Not too far. Over by Main Street, replied the lady, before realizing she did not want to give up her secret spot. Well, sorry, no can do. Gotta take you in for a night or 2 in jail, replied Leon, even though he knew this redundant routine was getting old. No, please, replied Abigail, as she thought about people taking her belongings if she left her tent unattended overnight. Well, fine, I'm gonna hurt myself then, she announced proudly. She knew this was her trump card, get out of jail free. And if that didn't work, she could pull the chest pain routine for a ride to the ER. Either way, it was a stall tactic to possibly weasel her way out of a jail stay. Really? Come on, answered the seasoned officer. Fine. Martin, please call the paramedics to come and take her to the ER. Chapter 4, Paramedics in Action. Thankfully, Mars had made it in time to ride along on his first assignment. Since he had to rush, he did not have as much time to defeat his confidence with his usual ruminations of wondering if he would be able to do a good job and handle the pressure. He was actually pumped with excitement, especially since the police were involved on this call. What would it be? Gunshot victims, car collisions? His daydreams of adventure were suddenly halted as they arrived to meet the squad car. The wild-eyed lady seemed happy to see the paramedics. After Officer Leon filled Mars in on the story, he asked the young man how things were going. Ever since he had volunteered to mentor the young man who grew up without a father, he was getting attached. He was especially proud that he had helped rescue the young man from a life of crime. And to see him now with a new career was icing on the cake. Mars filled his mentor in on the new house that he and his mom were renting. He even confided that he might find his own apartment one day. Don't tell my mom yet, though. She would probably be sad that I'm leaving. I think she just wants what's best for you, man, answered the elder. True, she's a great mom, but I still wait until I know for sure, answered the new paramedic. For sure, hope to see you soon. Oh, and if the ER decides not to keep her, have them call us and we'll take her to jail, replied Leon as he drove to the next call with his partner. Mars and his paramedic partner Maria were headed to the ER. He listened as Maria called in the report to the ER. She's so professional, he thought, and gorgeous. I'll have to find out about her life. His daydream was cut short when Abigail started to whine about needing to use the bathroom. Okay, ma'am, we should be there soon, answered the Orientee. Ma'am, pondered the thief-turned-patient. He must be a newbie. I wonder how long that polite routine will last. Chapter 5 is ER routine. Chapter 6 is after work hangout. Chapter 7 is psych consult. Chapter 8 is confidant. Chapter 9 is Abigail overhears. And there's many more chapters that you can find out. And I will continue this podcast series. For now, if you want to get the entire series, there is Book 1, Sheep Among Wolves. Book 2, Dr. John Doe. Book 3, A Tent Under the Bridge. And just released, Book 4 is the Trilogy Edition, which is a combination of all 3 books in one easy spot for you. So I hope you head on over to Amazon, and you can look that up by The Mental Files by Nurse Anne, and you should be able to see all 4 books and check those out. It's on Kindle or paperback, just in time for the holidays, full of action, suspense, romance, faith, danger, inspiration, and more. This is a fictional series, a drama series. As an advocate, a Christian, a mental health, an emergency nurse, I'm going to provide you with an inside look, and you'll enjoy that series. Have a great day.